My name is Richard Pyle, and I work here at Bishop Museum. I am an associate zoologist, I am a database coordinator, and I'm also a dive safety officer. I sort of live in multiple worlds. The world that most people are familiar with me is actually as a diver. People know me as someone who invents new diving technology and does these extremely deep dives with high-tech equipment. And I think people know me that way because that's what gets the most attention. That's actually not what I do so much as a career. I mean, I do that as a part of my life for sure. But another part of my life, another hat that I wear, is that I'm actually a database developer. I create database systems to manage information about biodiversity. That's a huge passion of mine. It doesn't seem as exciting to most people, sitting in a computer and programming database and writing code. But for me, it's just as exciting as the dives are, because what good are the dives if the information you bring back isn't accessible to people? And well, every time we do a deep dive and go to a reef where nobody's ever been before, and we find things that nobody's ever seen before, that's an endless stream of excitement. Every dive is full of anticipation. Every corner we turn around, every hole we look inside, there's something new there, and that is always, always exciting. One of the more exciting things we found is on our recent cruise up to the northwestern Hawaiian Islands. We were doing a series of surveys through NOAA, and we were up at Kure at a depth of 300 feet. And we did surveys up there and found that almost every single fish on the reef is endemic to the Hawaiian Islands. In fact, the surveys found 100% endemism. There's nowhere in the world where 100% of the fishes on a reef are found only in that area. Before that, the highest numbers were sort of in the 20 to 30 to 40% range, so it was really a huge discovery. My favorite fish is a fish called Balanaperca pyli. Now, it's named in my honor, which is cool. It was one of the first new species of fishes I discovered while deep diving, which is also cool. But neither of those is the reason why it's my favorite fish. It was my favorite fish before it was named after me, because I had kept it in an aquarium. And of all the fishes I've ever kept in an aquarium, this particular fish, it's a little soapfish, is unlike any other fish. It has more personality than any fish I've ever kept. It recognized me. It would get excited whenever I walked by the aquarium because it might be feeding time. Really a charismatic aquarium fish. It's also kind of cool because when we first discovered it, we didn't even know what family of fish it was. And we didn't know what to call it, so we called it the Dr. Seuss fish because it looked like something out of a Dr. Seuss book. But now it's subsequently been described scientifically, and it's named after me, and it's definitely my favorite fish. So I actually was both an undergraduate and a graduate student at the University of Hawaii. I started right after graduating high school, and then I took a semester off to go live in Palau in the South Pacific, because at the time it felt like school wasn't for me. But I had a very bad diving accident, and in order for my father's insurance to cover me, I had to be a student. So at the time, against my will at age 19, I sort of, still unable to walk very well, came back to the University of Hawaii. But then I immediately fell in love with the campus, with the atmosphere, everything about it. It reinvigorated me back into a world of academia. My friends who work in the same department that I did, my other people at the university, other students and professors who study fishes, sort of re-engaged me in the world of science. And that's what essentially hammered out my career track for the rest of my life. Well, in my career, I guess the person who inspired me most was my Ph.D. advisor, Dr. John E. Randall, Jack Randall, as he's known to his friends. He has discovered more new species of coral reef fishes than anyone in history, which is saying a lot because history goes back a very long time. And he's only been working at it since the 1940s, really the 1950s when he got his Ph.D. at the University of Hawaii. And he has managed to find more things on coral reefs, more fish species on coral reefs than anyone else before or since, which is truly remarkable. The reason he was so successful at what he did is because he was one of the first people to use scuba, which for him was a brand new technology. And that allowed him to get into habitats where no one before him had ever been before. And because he could do that, he found all kinds of things no one's ever found before. I'm trying as best I can to follow in his footsteps, using a new technology to go deeper than where anyone's ever been before, and that's enabled me to find things that nobody's ever seen before. So the ability to use a new technology to explore a part of this world we haven't seen before really is just an endless source of inspiration. Well, I guess what I like to tell young people about, who have an interest in science and marine biology is that You probably won't get very wealthy as a marine biologist, but you'll get something much more valuable, which is you'll absolutely love your job. Every morning you'll wake up excited to go to work, excited to discover something new. You'll earn enough money to make a living, but what you'll get is much more richer than any money can buy, which is an ability to have a career that leads you into your passion. And I can't think of any other campus other than the University of Hawaii that would do such a good job at allowing you to pursue that, because the University of Hawaii, if you're into marine biology or even biology in general, Hawaiian Islands have just fantastic opportunities for in-field research and great facilities and great infrastructure. And so my feeling is that here in Hawaii, you're able to get more directly involved in research activities as an undergraduate and as a graduate than you might be able to in other places. Even though I'm approaching age 50, I still feel I'm too young to be worried about what my legacy is going to be. I still focus on what I'm doing tomorrow, what I'm doing next week, what I'm lining up for next year. I guess I would like to leave this world with a better understanding of nature than it had before me. A lot of people focus on issues involving other people, and it's understandable that people are concerned about other people. But we're just one species out of 2 million known species, probably 20 million total species on this planet, and we're just barely beginning to understand the rest of the diversity we share this planet with. So I guess if I want to leave a legacy, it's increasing the awareness in people's minds of the other organisms that share this planet with us.